Alright, hey everyone, once again, welcome to my Stream 3 playthrough of Dark Souls. I'm of course Sammy, and I'm going to be providing commentary and analysis on the game as I play it. So first thing I want to make sure that I have my sound working this time. Started up before and the sound was not being picked up on my mic, but I'm pretty sure I resolved the issue before I continue forward. To make sure that is working. And it's going to take a while to show up here. So hopefully it is working, but as saw from the last part, the first thing I'm going to be doing here is, of course, the big boss battle that we're all looking forward to. Of course, the one I'm looking forward to as well. It's against Knight Artorias, which is one of my favorite boss battles in the game, and is a very popular boss battle among players of Dark Souls. Probably everyone's most favorite as well. Definitely in like the top 5 boss battles for most people. Personally, he is my favorites in terms of just how the boss battle is set up, you know, the moves that he has, the story behind him, his general design, everything about that is really interesting to me. But first, before I head into that myself, I'll give you a little preview of that in the last part. And the very end of the last part, I got him down to half health, which is not a bad first attempt against Artorias. But I think in this part, I want to hopefully help out other people. Okay, that was a quick sound check, sorry. Sound is in fact working, which is great news for me. Can get this show on the road. So I'm going to leave my summon sign here, with the hopes to help somebody with the boss first. And doing that because I'm in the Sunlight Covenant. I want to that covenant is all about helping other people and bosses. So in order to further my place in the covenant. Okay, I apparently cannot go in this direction. The shame. So while I wait for that, I have to stay in this area. While I wait for somebody to show up and pull me into their world. I'll just explore this general vicinity. Maybe I'll go down there and check that place out before I head in the boss myself. If it takes too long, I think I will abandon trying to get summoned in for now. Maybe I'll do it after the boss, after I beat the boss myself, just for the interest of continuing the stream. So wait, I'll give it a good couple minutes. Now I'll give you some time to explore this area, which I haven't looked into before. So doing co-op not only furthers my progress in the Sunlight Covenant, it gives you experience points as well. It gives you, I believe you get a humanity if you successfully help someone beat a boss. I think so. The way it works in Dark Souls is if you do co-op and you help somebody with a boss, you get 1 humanity. People who do PvP actually can get more humanity that way. If you do PvP and you invade somebody's world and kill them, you're actually rewarded with a lot more humanity. I think the reason for that is because you're risking a lot more resources. It takes a little bit more. It takes a special item called a cracked red eye orb, or you can to do those invasions rather, and those are consumable items, so you are risking a bit more by invading, and I think that's just to make it balanced, prevent people from trolling endlessly. You're also risking your souls. Yeah, in general you're risking a lot more. Whereas in co-op you're not risking. You're not risking as much. Say if you die in invasions while you're doing an invasion, you basically lose everything Whereas if you die in co-op, you're pretty much safe. Okay, so that's the extent of that zone. And one thing that really weirds me out, not weirds me out, that's probably the wrong turn of phrase. One thing I find weird and strange is how it's just not clear where you can lay down your summon sign. I think that is largely fixed in Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 gives you much larger areas for your summon sign to stay in the world, so that you can do exactly what I was trying to do. Now you can leave it somewhere and then wander away, do a little bit of exploring while you wait. There was one thing I wanted to do that I kind of rushed over to the boss. I didn't really fully explore this area. I was also really low on flasks, so I didn't fully, I didn't really look on that side. So I'm gonna fight these enemies now. Aw, man, aggroed everybody. That's not good. Thought I dodged there. This is not good. I don't want to head in that direction because there are more enemies that way. Alright. One of the things you have to master in this game is sometimes you have to manage a lot of enemies at once. Okay, I'm probably not going to be doing the boss battle after this, because I want to approach it with as much health as possible, as much healing. These giants should be a little bit better for me. Fight than those other dudes. Okay. Got them both down. Gotta kill one here. Seriously, that guy's not dead? Basically no red left, and yet I probably got him down to 1 health. That's just very unlucky for me. But I really want to explore that area. Alright, let's see. I believe this area for summoning extends all the way over here, I think. So I could potentially do my summon sign here while I make my way over that way. Again, yeah, this just once again demonstrates the problem of playing games, especially games online, that have online elements, multiplayer elements, well after its initial release. Okay, I just died. The little inlet to that crevice there off the cliff. So the problem with playing games online years after the initial release is that, just the general population of players actually online and playing in the world decreases over time. It's natural, unavoidable consequence of online games. So I'm already seeing, compared to when I played this last time, that the experience is very different. It's harder to interact with other players online. If you want to do the Sunlight Covenant, for instance, it is much harder to do now than it was, say, a year ago, or even, say, 6 months ago, because people have moved on to bigger and better things, and even 6 months ago, a game like Bloodborne was not out. So there were, just by that basis, there were more people still playing Dark Souls, even well after release, just because they didn't have Bloodborne. Yeah, there are too many alternatives now. People can play Dark Souls 2, they can play Dark Souls 2 DLC, Scholar of the First Sin. They can play Bloodborne. So it's like you're going to be splitting the potential player base of any one of those games, and it's going to be, of course, skewed towards the newer games. So what happens is it's going to be much tougher for me to find players I can do co-op with, and just certain covenants. Most of the covenants are co-op or PvP, and just because the player base has dwindled over time, those aspects of the game are naturally going to be harder to do. I forgot to leave my summon sign because I just died right then and there. So, no point in leaving it here because I'm just going to leave the summon area anyway. Maybe when I get up here I'll leave the summon sign. This will be considered a new area. Okay, I did leave a summon sign. Yeah, I'll leave one here. Probably not the best place to leave a summon sign, but better than nothing. I can go after this thing. Maybe that's what I'll do. No, come on. There you go. Missed this little thing. First time through. Okay. Titanite. Not really that important to me, but I'll take it. I can see an item that I missed right here. This is what happens when you rush through a game. You lose track of certain items. You don't take the time to explore. You do miss out on items just like that one. It was just a soul of a proud knight, but it could have been an awesome weapon. Might have wanted to use. Who knows? Okay, let's try and fight these guys once again. Maybe what I want to do is kind of not aggro all of them at once. That's probably the best strategy, right? I do want to explore in that general area. It looks like no matter what I do, they all aggro. Come on. Again, another case of guy's health bar is down to nothing. I see no red in his health bar. Okay. Alright, gotta kill this giant. Wow, this giant, man, I really hate it when that happens. Why don't they just... Can't the game just round up? Why can't the game just round up in those instances? Clearly got him down. So, in terms of doing the online aspects of the game, that's just an unintended, or I'm not sure unintended, that's just a natural consequence of any game having an online element, is that over time those things will dwindle and diminish. And as a result, the game is just going to get worse over time. So Dark Souls, as it is now, we're already seeing it is a bit more diminished. It's a lesser game than it was even 6 months ago, and definitely a lesser game than it was a year ago or nearer to release. Just because it's harder to partake in some of the best parts of it, because a lot of the best parts of it are inherently tied to the online elements. And you can make that argument about any game online, but it really hurts this game in particular, I think, because of the way Dark Souls uses the online elements. It's just one of the innovative things about how the game works and how it differentiates from a lot of the other games that released at its time. Besides, the previous game that From Software made, Demon's Souls, which was the first game that really introduced those online elements. I just want I just want to take a quick note to notice the animations of these enemies here. That they're cutting the trees. They're using little tools to cut the trees, and we haven't really seen anything quite like this with other enemies. I think I was talking about that in the previous part, how there were enemies in the world. Most of them are largely static. They just stand still, don't do anything. Whereas in this part of the world, this Ulasil area, which, mind you, isn't actually in the main game. This is a DLC thing. If you bought it on consoles, this is a downloadable addition to the game. You can buy separately. You can see that they took the time to. It took more time in the way the enemies are designed and how they're interacting with the world. So we see stuff like this here. I think that's interesting how that works, and it just makes this Ulasil world feel unique compared to everything else, especially compared to the forest we saw earlier. It just doesn't seem like a retread of that area, so that's just a nice little detail to add in. You could tell a lot of effort went into this, even though this was DLC. So back to the online elements thing. It's just an unfortunate. It is both its greatest strength, its most innovative part, but also its greatest weakness over time. And it's just like harder to get all those interactive elements. Normally, if the game is more populated, what we would see a lot more messages scattered around the world. We would see more player ghosts of other ghosts. I'm not sure how to silhouettes of other players playing the game as we play it. They're not necessarily in our world, but we're seeing what they're doing in their world. And that's like a feature in most of From Software's most recent games, such as Bloodborne has something similar, Dark Souls 2 as well. But because it's been so long since release, and because people have other alternatives from Software to play, we just don't get a whole lot of that anymore. And that's just really unfortunate. So, I mean, I love this game to death, but that doesn't mean I'm going to not point out a lot of the flaws in some of the design here. Like, I feel there's really no good response. This game has no good substitute for what happens when the player base, the online player base, dwindles, and the game. A lot of what makes this game special relies heavily on that feature. Okay, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave my summon sign once more, and I'm just gonna make my way back the long way to the bonfire. Get all my flasks. Just give one more chance to possibly do co-op. Normally, this wouldn't be such a big deal because I could pretty much just put my summon sign down and then leave the game running and like check Twitter or something, or watch Twitch as I wait, or watch YouTube or whatever. So the time it takes to find somebody, connect to a game, wouldn't be a huge deal if I wasn't streaming. But because I'm streaming, it's like I want to actually get to the action here. I want to actually do this boss, possibly beat him today. Oh, I think I will beat him today. But doing co-op is up in the air. It depends on if someone happens to be doing the boss and wants to summon and happens to be connected to my game, sees my summon sign. Like, it depends on a lot of different factors. Yeah, it doesn't look really good for co-op, unfortunately. Just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of people looking for co-op. I mean, I'm sure there are a handful of people actually in this area doing the boss, but they have to also be connected to me to be able to see my summon sign, and then they have to pick me as well, as opposed to picking somebody else, so they could pick somebody else. And then, of course, people doing the boss and they don't want to summon, like me. they don't want help for the boss. So after all those filters, like, yeah, it's gonna be really difficult to actually find somebody to help. Doesn't seem likely. I just keep being reminded how hard this game was hit after Bloodborne. I think maybe the player base will actually grow back over time to some extent. Not to what it once was before Bloodborne came out, or before Dark Souls 2 came out, but I think people are still haven't really finished their time with Bloodborne yet, so they haven't returned back to Dark Souls necessarily. Alright, I don't think I can wait any longer. I think I gave it a fair shot to try and do some co-op on the stream. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it myself. Face it head on. No practice beforehand, well, except for that one first attempt. Now, you largely have to play this reactionary, what he does, just because he is so strong. You do not want to get hit by him. So you want to wait to see what he does first. Then react. Ooh. Yeah, he does. Notice he actually shares a lot of moves with Sif, and that's because of the lore connections that Sif and Artorias have. Okay. So I can either use his charge up moment here to either heal, which I think I needed to heal at that point, or I could try and break his charge up. The downside of this is that, yeah, he's a lot hardier, or his moves are a lot more powerful than they once were. Oh, I broke his poise. I don't think I've ever done that. Alright. There's the temptation to heal now, but I'm going to wait till he has more of a... Oh, crap. Yeah, I think I waited a little bit too long to heal there. Okay, charge move. Instead of breaking it, I'm going to heal. Have to heal. No choice. Got him down to half health, and I still have one flask, so... I think it's possible I can do it. Possible. But, then again, Artorias could just wreck me, still, as you can see. Yep, that's it. So, did better than the first attempt. I am showing improvement. And I'm getting a little bit more used to his moveset. Keep in mind that this is, I'm specifically doing a no-shield run, two-handed weapon style. This is not something that I did in my previous playthroughs of the game. So, with like every encounter, you think, oh, by this time, 70 hours into the game, I would be used to not using a shield, but it seems like every encounter I have to learn how to approach it anew, right? Just because I'm used to not using a shield in general doesn't mean I'm going to be tip-top shape to do Artorias, one of the toughest battles in the game. I guess during these runs to the boss, I could talk about what exactly I like about Artorias, and get more specific about him, because when I'm in the thick of the battle, I'm not really going to be too useful at providing commentary on that, analysis on that, just because I'm going to be so focused on the boss. So, I mean, we're already there, so I'm not really sure how much I can say, but I do like how how all of his movements, how all of his actions reflect how he has been affected by the abyss. Clearly lost his mind. Okay, I definitely did a bad dodge there. Retrieval! Already have to heal. I'm gonna have to work on dodging against that move because that one's particularly tough for me. Did no damage. Well, one hit of damage to him this time. I'm gonna blame that on trying to talk about him. First try today, I was more focused, I think. So, yeah, I think I said a little bit about this in the last stream, but I like how he's clearly lost his mind. He's like taking on this sort of persona of this large bird of prey. I guess used to be his just like his look or his symbol. Now he's like, because he's been driven mad by the abyss, he's kind of become that in his mind, personified. And he's like squealing, squawking like a bird during the battle. He is lunging. He's lunging at us like a madman. That's just makes him a little bit unpredictable. Makes him tough to fight, but also I think it makes it more meaningful than just a straight up one-on-one battle against any other enemy. It's those little details that make it matter, and all those things add up to making him my favorite boss in the game. Okay, so that one's particularly tough for me. When he does his spin move. Also, his lore connection to Sif, the wolf that we fought way earlier in the game, reflected in his moves as well. He has very similar fighting style. I guess we'll see. Let's find more details about that later. Okay. I'm dodging just in time. So this is one little detail about him is that, oh man, did not break it. Usually I'm able to. If I was able to break his charge up there, I think I would have been able to win that possibly, or that my chances would have greatly increased. In the previous encounters with him, I had to heal during his charge ups, but if I was in a position to break his charge up, and not having to heal, then yeah, that's just a much better position. But after all that, I couldn't break him. Come on. Okay. I'm down in health once more during this. So I remember my first attempt at him. I had a much inferior build than what I had, compared to what I have right now, at least. I think I had, instead of a normal weapon up to fully upgraded, I had a divine weapon. A fully upgraded divine weapon. And the problem with that is, like, in general it's going to be okay against the field of enemies in Dark Souls, but in Ulasil specifically, most of the enemies actually anything affected by the abyss or the darkness, they actually resist the divine magic. So I was fighting him with a weapon that he was resistant to, and that meant I had to, like, it took me several hours to actually do that. Okay, that move is the one I haven't seen before, or at least in this playthrough. And for some reason, I don't know, I just didn't want to change up my weapon. And that would have actually been much more beneficial to me if I changed my weapon to basically anything else. I had just gone with a regular weapon and then, okay, I'm gonna try and break him now, even though I should heal. Okay, I broke him this time. I'm not sure why I didn't last time. That should probably be a decent time to heal. Ah, I missed. So I'm gonna have to look for the tells. I'm not really looking for the tells very well here. So when he does his spin maneuver, I definitely want to look into what he does before that one. Do his charge. Okay, I think 3 hits, I can do it. Probably too late on that one. Yep, he smashed me, punished me. So I need to wait for a better opportunity. That wasn't it. Wasted a flask there. Okay, after that one seems to be a good time. I'm still dodging incorrectly, largely. Like, I should dodge to the side with that one, rather than back. Okay. Still getting pretty darn close. I think if I'm able to use my last flasks more effectively, if I have enough opportunity to do that, I think I can take him down. Still, you can see that it is pretty tough. It may not seem like it in my my voice intonations here, but yeah, I am finding it really tough. It is a learning experience to try and beat him without a shield. Learning to dodge correctly. There were a few hits that I would just tank on the first playthrough. My first playthrough of this boss. And yeah, even though I had a shield then, I still had my Divine Claymore, which is he was resistant to. So even though I could take hits, I think that would be easier for me to fight him. But because I was doing so little damage to him with each swing, because he was resistant to my divine weapon, what happened was that the battle will just take so long that he would eventually do damage to me over time, no matter how proficient I got at dodging. Basically, I would have to do the battle perfectly over, say, the 5 to 10 minutes it would take to beat him. Actually, with him resisting my weapon, it would probably take over 10 minutes to beat him. And that, for a boss battle, that is a long time to try and not die. And try to play perfectly. So the best way to fight a boss is really to, I believe it's just to do your offensive damage, or get as much offensive damage in as possible to shorten the match overall. Just because, like, even if you get really good at dodging his attacks, what's going to happen is he's going to get you're gonna make mistakes, essentially. Okay, 1, 2, 3, broken. And this is, I'm in a better position here because he's not charged up. Oh man, dodged incorrectly there. Should have dodged back for that one. And I'm not trying not to be greedy here. You know, get one hit off when I can. Try not to do too many hits. I mean, that just leaves him an opening. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh man, just barely. Oh man, too late. Okay, I need him to give me an opportunity to actually heal now. Is he gonna give me one? Not sure. Okay, I'm gonna let him charge up. I actually go to full health because I'm in a pretty good position. 3 flasks with him down to here. I think, and this is probably famous last words, but I can probably get him down if I can actually hit him. Oh man, see? Punished for dodging incorrectly still. Well, I did better that time. Man, he is tough, and probably one of the tougher bosses to read. You have to be really paying attention to his wind-ups. But after a while, you can start to read his attacks. Like if he does a specific wind-up before he does his spin attack versus when he does his overhand. And in each of those cases, you have to dodge a specific way to not take damage. If you dodge, I keep dodging to the side when he does a spin maneuver, and I need to learn to read that one correctly. So, it would help if I don't take damage against these guys. Alright, now I'm just gonna have to fight Artorias down 1 flask. I am confident that I can beat him though. I think I'm getting a little bit better every single time. Got him down to just a little bit of health, and I know for sure that it is not like, I'm not blaming any sort of nonsense hits. Like it's pretty clear why I'm taking damage, because I can see I'm dodging in the wrong direction compared to his attacks. Whereas, like in some other cases, like this is why I didn't like a lot of the Dark Souls 2's bosses, just because of the way those bosses, or the way the fighting system works in that game. It largely discourages. Oh no, this is not good. Already. Actually, I think I have to bone home here. I'm not sure if he's gonna let me though. Okay, just barely. I have to repair my weapon, fortunately. So repair, and while I'm at it, I might as well repair my armor as well. Another thing I have to keep track of. I've been sort of careless on that. So, let's see, I think Dark Souls 2, the way the combat works there, No, not necessarily dodging. Yeah, I was wrong on that front. Like, it wants you to learn to dodge correctly in that game, but I would say it discourages just moving out of the way, just by the way that the way the enemy weapon detect hits against you. I'm pretty sure sometimes is way off. Like in certain instances, you can tell that their weapon did not hit you, and yet you still take damage. And I think that's just to largely discourage you from just staying just out of range of their attacks, or moving away from their attacks without dodging. Like, it wants you to actually learn to dodge correctly, and I guess there is some merit to that, but I think that's largely why I didn't like the general combat of Dark Souls 2 and dealing with bosses that kind of exploit that fact. Look, you can tell that those bosses, that certain bosses in the game take advantage of the fact that it's forcing you to dodge correctly rather than just move out of the way without dodging. And they get a lot of cheap hits in that way. So relating to Artorias, I think one of the reasons I like this battle is because there are rarely any instances of him damaging me and it felt cheap. There's always a reason why I took damage. In many cases, if I don't take damage, it's just because I got very lucky. Again, I'm still reading that spin wrong. Just gonna have to let him... Oh, I thought he was gonna charge up there. So I read that wrong, but I'll take any free heal opportunity I can. That one is the toughest one to actually read. Not sure how I can dodge that one. I'll let him charge up here. Health is more valuable. I gotta make sure I can survive. Ah, man, yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna get that right. Or I'm gonna end up beating him before I actually learn to get that right, rather. Oh man, yeah, that one's definitely the toughest. Okay, yep. Victory achieved! I love that battle. And yeah, I did beat him before I could actually learn to dodge his spin maneuver correctly, but I'll take it. I'd rather beat him than... And it's okay I didn't learn to do one specific dodge incorrectly. Okay, so a lot of these things here are specific online only areas where you fight against players. And you know what I was talking about before, about how the game diminishes, or the online aspects of the game diminishes over time just because there are fewer players actively playing the game. This stuff here specifically probably going to be directly hit by that because they are online only things. I think they're PvP arenas mostly, where you try to fight each other online. See, I think that there's actually a bonfire here. And this is an entirely new area. 50,000 souls is very interesting. I'll probably delve further into this part, even though I did a boss I think I have too much time left over to call it quits now. I don't think I want to call it quits right now. I'll go as far as I can go in here. But first, let's explore this area a bit. Let's see, I know there would always be an item behind where you want to look. Well, I probably could have, if I looked up, I probably could have seen it from down there. If you see stairs, always try to look behind stairs to see if there's something hidden there. Largely, when you leave stairs, you'll have the urge just to keep going forward. But if there's a way to go back that way, like fight your instinct to just go forward, you're rewarded with your exploration. Alright, I'm pretty sure this door I can't open yet. I'll be able to open later on. Meet another cool character of the game. So, yeah, just get that one item for now. And just learn that there's a door. Keep in mind, I'll have to open that door at some point later on. But for now, I think what I want to do is just continue forward. So I think what I'll do is I will what if this message is be wary of poison bug? Not sure what that means. Not sure what that means. Seeing a very rare instance of a player ghost just because there aren't too many people playing in this game anymore. Again, that point keeps coming up. Like, I think it was much easier to get into co-op bosses and see other players playing the game, like those silhouettes, see messages in earlier portions of the game, just because it's more likely to see people in those areas. But an area like this, where it's largely convoluted, to even get to way out of the way from like the main hub of the world. Probably not going to see a whole lot of activity here, unfortunately. So I think we can level up. Yep. Might as well put some points into something. Let's go for an even 30 on endurance. Let's see. I think I might want to put the rest in either dexterity or vitality. Maybe a vitality from here on. Vitality first, up to 35, say, and then maybe dexterity for the final levels. Because I'm fairly close to the end of the game. Again, only one more Lord Soul to get to after I do this area. So, okay, I'm gonna be seeing these enemies from now on. Weird looking things. So these are, I'm guessing, Ulastil citizens that have been overtaken by a sort of plague or pestilence from the Abyss. This is very similar to what happened to the New Londo citizens. I think they're going to talk about that. Certain characters might talk about that, or yeah, we'll find that out a little bit later on. Okay, I'm going to have to be careful about that move. Otherwise, these guys are largely pushovers, I think. Okay, more guys down there. Looks like this one is another shortcut that I can unlock. Keep that in mind. Try to find the way from below. I'm still not doing this right. this looks like... Unlike the forest that we saw before, this seems pretty altogether new compared to that. It's like the architecture here, the way it's like kind of like a civilization fallen to pieces a long time ago. Be wary of caster. Okay. Go ahead and rate that one just because as a recognition that it's hard to find people to actually rate messages anymore, especially in this area. Use rate. I'm gonna rate any and all helpful messages that I see. Alright, so I'm approaching with caution, like waiting, don't rush into the area, using what I've learned previously. Going to go ahead and pardon me for a second there, just checking. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is like rush towards the caster there. Probably the toughest. Okay. Definitely. Usually what casters mean as ranged magic attacks. So while this dude would be wailing on me, this caster here would just be hitting me with ranged attacks from afar. That's never good. So if I can destroy him before... Oh, this one almost surprised me. Whew. Okay. Slowly making my way through a new area here. Alright, so we have... So you can go that way or go this way. Maybe I'll check out what's over here first. Do I want to drop down just yet? I don't think I want to do that. Oh, okay, there were stairs anyway. Normally I don't want to commit to the point of no return until I'm sure I've seen everything there is to see. But no matter, there were stairs. Okay, let's see, I can go that way. There's also an item there. How do I get that one? I'll go this way. Okay, I'm gonna have to let that one go. Alright. Let there be light. Now, you can see, I believe that icon means that this is like a permanent message left in the game by the developers. It is not a message left by players. So this is just a specific hint. I think that audio cue is one as well. So this one is probably one of the toughest, most convoluted puzzles to solve because, well, it depends on getting an item that you might not have even gotten at this point in the game. And that I have an advantage in that I know what it is, but basically you have to equip the skull lantern, assuming that you went to the catacombs and then killed one of those necromancers, got his drop of skull lantern. And then after all that, let there be light. You have to figure out that you need to do this. That's like the specific way to open this door. It is not like any other of the illusory walls that we saw before. You can just hit it. You specifically have to use light. And I think that's probably because of some lore reason. I'm pretty sure it's a lore reason that it works like this. So this is not a mimic. Pretty sure this is an important item. Silver pendant. It's probably to the game's credit, I think. Wait, I just want to unequip it. To the game's credit, I think it is This puzzle might be so difficult because this item is technically not necessary. It is kind of optional. But if you do have it, it helps a great deal later on. So let's check out this item. Silver pendant engraved with the crest of Artorias, one of the ancient treasures of Analondo, presented to Artorias for facing the abyss. Well, I think there's an enemy actually coming up. Gotta be careful here. Okay, let's finish looking at that. So this was actually Artorias' item when he went to the abyss. Effectively deflects the dark of the abyss, especially in its magic forms. So that we can already tell it's a very useful item. It is probably something I want to keep equipped here and use that later on. So see what it does. If I cast that, it'll protect me, I guess, during that duration from any dark magic. Alright, so I have to keep in mind that there's like an item up there. Looks like I can't reach it right now. See, there's also a place I can go this way. Let's see what's in here. Oh, a way up. That looks good. What else is here? There's a way down. Oh, is there? Oh yeah, here it is. Ooh, let's not. Maybe I want to heal. Okay. So, let's put this silver pendant to the test. It's probably meant to deflect those things. Assuming I can actually cast this thing. Come on. Like, it does work, but I can probably... It's probably more effective just to run up to the thing and then hit it. Yeah, I just kill it. Like, I can be fancy and try to deflect the attacks, but I might as well just... Might as well just run up and kill it. Alright. Okay, not a mimic. Dark Orb. Okay, that seems like a spell. Not really helpful to me, but... Okay. This looks like a dead end. Already out of flasks, so I think I want to find a way back, if I can help it. There was nothing up here, right? Let's see. Oh. Hello. Goodbye. I'm so sorry, carving. Let's check that one out. So, right now I'm just more of an exploratory phase in this area, so I'm not... sorry if I'm not really providing any meaningful commentary yet. It's more as I learn about an area, that's when I'll start figuring things out. And then Soul of Artorias. Let me look at that. Soul of Lord Gwyn's Knight Artorias, who was consumed by the abyss. The legend that Artorias repelled the abyss only told half the story. It seems that he was defeated and his honor preserved by some unsung hero who is the true victor over the abyss. I wonder who they're talking about there. We'll see. Alright, there was nothing there besides that I'm sorry carving. Let's take a look at that. Where would that be? Probably in this miscellaneous stuff. Yep. Head carved of archtrays by Goff. In his imprisonment, Goff imparts an emotion to each and every completed carving, which helps him to achieve personal enlightenment. When a head is disturbed, it speaks, reflecting the emotion conferred to it. This head says, "I'm sorry." Having a look, is that an expression of atonement? So this is just like, it's an item you can equip just so you can say, "I'm sorry." And this is largely a a co-op item or any sort of online when you're playing with other players. This is like a way to communicate with them, especially if they're strangers. I mean, if you're playing with friends, then you'd probably already be voice chatting with them. Oh, I can get to this item now. This is how I can get to it. Found the way to get to the item. Always good. And it's just another soul. I mean, those items aren't terrible. I mean, I can always pop them when I need them. Let's see. I think the way back to the bonfire was here. Oh no, that one wasn't. Oh, I can actually get back this way, right? Yeah. Okay. So that was a fun little excursion. I got some key items out of it. And now I can continue on to the other path that way. Now, I guess the one upside of the player base, the online player base being so diminished over time, is that you would in general have less fear of being invaded in the game. If you're just playing the game and no one knows you're playing in the area, there are going to be a lot fewer invaders, right? That doesn't mean a whole lot because just because, like, I'm gonna check over here because there might be something. Alright, I know there's like a character that spawns over here, but I'm pretty sure that character only comes when I would either leave the area and come back, or if I reload the game. Anyway, there's really no benefit to, say, going human in the game, unlike Dark Souls 2, where going human actually means you regain most of your health. In this game, like, less in fear of invasion isn't all that important. I guess, well, unless you want to actually kindle the bonfire, that's like the main advantage that you would get, I would suppose. So, I guess now over time, like the consequence of kindling the bonfire, which means you have to go human and you risk invasion that way, that specific consequence is lessened because there's in general fewer people playing the game online, and so you have less of a risk when you kindle compared to several months ago, or even a year ago. With that in mind, probably don't need to kindle right now. I do, however, want to. Where is it? I'll pop a humanity here, just to go human, because I know that there's a specific NPC invader nearby that I want to fight. Now the thing is, like, people streaming the game might have fear of invaders and that. Sometimes invaders like to prey upon people who stream the game just because they know they can track their movements and they'll know where they are in the world, and then they can invade right when they go human and make sure that they get their prey. Okay. Alright, so I think I wanted to... let's fight that NPC invader. I think the NPC invaders are largely there for the specific purpose of, like, filling in the void for people who either play offline or just when the game inevitably dwindles its player base to the point where invasion is less of a fear. Like, it wants to have some semblance of that invasion aspect to kindling the bonfire. Okay. So, pretty sure... I'll kill this dude here. I know there's one. Alright. There he is. There's the NPC invader. So this guy looks familiar, and that's because this guy is actually a character we see right outside of Artorias boss gate. For some reason, he is choosing to invade us. And defeated. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Does he drop anything? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if he drops anything, but I guess we get some souls out of it. We get probably an item later on, I guess. I'm guessing we might be able to pick up. Aha! First mimic in quite a while. Always worth checking. And we get another one of those carvings from emote. Very good to people. Alright, what else is here? Nothing? Nothing? Is there any advantage to going over there? I guess not. I think that's the other side, yeah, of that building where we saw the crystal lizard. We can jump onto there, and that way we can actually come over here from that direction. Okay. Very narrow miss there. Wow, okay, those are homing. Might want to actually use this as I cross the bridge here. No? No more? Well, I'm glad I have that now. It helped me get across this really narrow bridge. Imagine if you didn't have that, how hard it would be to actually make it through. I guess you would have to have some sort of shield, deflecting magic. See some enemies down there. And this enemy, now that I think about it, this enemy actually looks like some of the enemies you can see in Bloodborne, with their multi-eyed. Very similar to some of those multi-eye enemy. Oh wait, let's heal up. Let's see what else is here. I know there's one over there. Okay, I'm not sure how much more time left here. I think maybe the next death I will call at the end of the stream. Possibly even before that. Okay, so try attacking, it says. No? Ah, I see, it's a troll message, okay. Nice one. Sometimes people like to leave those troll messages to... Okay, so we have an invader, it seems. So what I can do here... Okay, looks like I died in this world anyway. No. Let this guy have his reward for me dying. Go ahead. I did say, yeah, the next death I would go ahead and end the stream. At least I didn't give that guy the satisfaction of defeating me in combat. Just died to the random enemies in the world anyway. Probably would have died there regardless, because that was a huge mob of enemies and I have to approach it with caution. So I think we'll tackle this one later on, and there should be another boss at the end of this stretch of Ulasil here. I think that's best left for the next part. So if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching. So yeah, I will definitely continue this area next time, and with the hopes of defeating that boss. Another great boss in this game, by the way. Most of the bosses in this area, I think I've said in the previous part, that the bosses in this Ulasil downloadable edition are some of the best in the game. So really looking forward to that next boss. So I think I'll call it here. If you want to watch the archives of these videos, you can find them over at youtube.com/YamsterSam. You can also use it's that same username you can also use to follow me on Twitter at YamsterSam. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next part. Later.